we need to talk about AYO EDEBIRI again. We need to talk about AYO EDEBIRI, who's also known as the People's Princess, also known as a warming superstar, and also known as the person I would like to be when I grow up. But for real though, if you were here 2 years ago, you may remember a video I did where I watched AYO EDEBIRI's entire filmography. Well, there's been many additions to her filmography since I filmed that video, so I decided, hey, it could be kind of fun and interesting to do an updated version of that video where I watch everything that she's been in since that video came out. How many times can I say video? Apparently a million. But yeah, I decided to make an updated version of that video, and I watched all of the things that she's been in since filming that, and here we are now, me talking about everything that I watched. Mainly rewatched, because I am an AYO EDEBIRI fan, so I am tapped into all of the releases that were coming out for her, so I'm definitely always simply too seated in the movie theater whenever something new for her is coming out. But for this video, I rewatched all those things, and I will be talking about it right now. For you. You're welcome. Nobody asked for this, but you're welcome.
Hey, how y'all doing?
So first things up first, let's jump into the timeline / table of contents of the things that I watched for this video. I do want to preface two things before I jump into that timeline though. So first up, Inside Out 2 should have been on this list. I'll say that, but I didn't watch it. Oops, I forgot to watch it. I forgot to watch Inside Out 2. Sue me, I'm sorry. So I will not be talking about Inside Out 2 for this video because I did forget about it, completely forgot about it. Went over my head really. But the only good thing is, like, I have seen that movie before. I did watch it like when it came out in the movie theaters, and I know her role is like quite like small in it anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. If you're an Inside Out 2 lover, you thought I was going to be talking about it for this video, I'm sorry, but it's fine. For me personally, it's fine. And the second thing that I need to say is that I will not be talking about The Bear season 3 or season 4 for this specific video, and that's because I have videos specifically dedicated to season 3 of The Bear and to season 4 of The Bear. So if you really want to hear me talk about it and yap about it for an hour, like both of those videos are like separate hours. If you want to hear me talk about those seasons of The Bear, go check out those videos. Shameless promo, hey! But yeah, like season 3 and 4 of The Bear definitely fall in this timeline of the things I'm gonna say, but I already have videos about that, so I'm not gonna just talk about it again. Would not make sense to do that. So just go watch those videos if you want to hear me yap about The Bear. Specifically season 3 or specifically season 4. Thank you. Now let's get into the actual timeline of the 7 things that I watched for this video. So first up on this list is Omni that came out in 2024. Second up is Mulligan season 2 for the first installment of this video. Installment? Is that what we should call that now? For the first version in the other video that I did. I watched Mulligan season 1 and Mulligan season 2 came out after that video came out. So here I am watching Mulligan season 2 for this. Number 3 is Opus, which came out in 2025. Number 4 is After the Hunt, which also came out in 2025. Number 5, Ella McCay, which came out in 2025 as well. Then number 6, we have I Love LA, which also came out in 2025. She had a huge 2025, good for her. And then number 7, the last thing on this list, is Proof on Broadway, which is 2026, currently happening right now, AYO EDEBIRI's Broadway debut, and I got to be seated for that. And we're gonna talk about that last. I don't want to talk about anything else about that right now, even though I'm so excited to talk about that. But that's last. Skip to the end if you want. There's timestamps for a reason. But for me recording this right now, we're gonna start in order, and we're starting with omni. So let's just jump right into that. Essentially, this is about a woman named Zoya and a college student named Paula, and they're working together to solve time travel so that Zoya doesn't die because she has this rare condition where there's a black hole growing inside her body and it's slowly killing her. Also, this movie is similar to Groundhog's Day in that Zoya is living the same week leading up to her death over and over again, and it's during this repeated week that her and Paula are trying to solve time travel and save her life. So like I did for the last version of this video, I'm going to break up my thoughts towards the movie and TV show, whatever I watched, into 2 like separate sections, if you will. So one part is the general thoughts, just like generally what I thought about the movie or TV show as a whole, and then I have my AYO specific notes where I talk about her performance and her in the movie, her in the TV show, her role, etc, etc. So first up for Omni, let's talk about my general thoughts about this movie. So the first thing I need to say is that if AYO EDEBIRI wasn't in this movie, I do not think that I would have watched this movie because science stuff makes my brain hurt and I just never fully get it and I never fully understand what's going on, especially time travel science stuff. Like, ooh, that It goes over my head a little bit, it confuses me a lot a bit, and it's just a bit too much. And that is also like the case for this movie. Like, I didn't fully get what was going on, but it just got to the point where it's like, okay, hands up in the air. I throw my hands up in the air sometimes saying, hey, yo, let's go. Wait, I feel like I just mixed two different songs together. Wait, no, I think that's right. AYO Curis? Yeah, whatever. For this movie and like any science-y movie that I have to watch, it gets to the point where I put my hands up and I'm like, okay, I don't fully 1000% understand what's going on, but that's okay. That's fine. I can still enjoy this. I can still try to enjoy this, even though I don't really understand the logistics behind everything that's going on right now. And that was the case for this movie. I didn't fully get it, but I did still like it. I did still like the overall story. Aside from the science-y stuff, I did like the overall story of this movie. And it also hurts me. This movie definitely hurts me in a way that I don't want to explain because I don't want to spoil anything for you. You should just go watch this movie. But yeah, this movie hurts. This movie hurts a little bit. Anyway, though, the friendship that develops between Zoya and Paula is definitely one of my favorite parts about this movie, and it is the sweetest part about this movie, and it's just so wholesome, and I love it so much. And it's like such a friendship that like quickly develops, which is even more sweet, and I just love it. I just freaking love it. And I hope I can insert a couple clips of my favorite scenes that like highlight and showcase their friendship. Let's hope I'm not being to death by copyright right now. And yeah, fingers crossed. The next thing that I need to say is that the editing in this is really, really awesome. There are some moments where they do like quick cut flashbacks and like quick cut montagey moments that are really cool to watch and witness. Also, there's some really cool picture type montage type editing moments in this, which are also really cool. There's one of Zoya at the beginning, and it's kind of like an introduction to her character, and it just has such like a nostalgic vibe to it, and it just feels like, okay, so this is who she is, this is her vibe essentially, and it's at the beginning of the movie, so it feels like, okay, this is definitely her introduction. This is definitely us as the audience being introduced to this character. And there's also one of those type of moments for Paula's character about midway through the movie, and it happens after there's a sort of like turning point for her character, and it's after like we as the audience see a deeper side of her. So suddenly now we're getting this like introduction to her character, and it's kind of showing like, oh, she's not just a side character, she's also a main character in this as well. We're getting those like young childhood photos, some older photos, just like, this is who this character is, here's your introduction to her, because now she's like a fully fledged like main character, because like I said, it happens after we see a deeper side to her and her character. And yeah, both of those moments are just such cool editing moments, and I love that they did that because I feel like it brings a little more like life and humanness. That's not a word, but let's just roll with it. A little more humanity, is that it? I don't know. It just makes the characters feel more real, and I really like that a lot, especially because you can tell like those are like real childhood photos from like their actual like actors' lives and stuff, and it's just really sweet to see, and I like it a lot. And I just, like I said, nostalgic. I'll say it one more time. It just feels so nostalgic, and it just makes you feel a bit more for the characters. They feel more human. They feel more real. I love that editing moment, and I just love the majority of the editing in this movie too. And now for my fellow The Bear watchers, Mr. Peter Sugar's husband is in this movie. Peter Pete, one of my faves. Love you, Peter. Hey, Pete. He's in this movie in a very minimal way. He's in this movie, but I do want to mention the fact that he's in this movie because his character in this is so similar and so same vibe as his character in The Bear. So I had to mention Mr. Peter Sugar's husband, Mr. Peter Bearzotto, because I don't even know his last name, but he would be taking Sugar's last name as he should. That's not canon. That's not canon. That's not canonically true, but it's true in my brain. Yeah. So overall, the last thing that I need to generally say about this movie is that it's just overall a very sweet and sad commentary on life, and it's also a commentary about like what ifs and like all those what if thoughts that we all are like haunted with day by day, week by week, whatever. Like we're all thinking about like, what if I did that thing? What if I did this thing? What if my life went in this direction? What if my life did that? Etc., etc. But it's also about realizing that like those what ifs don't matter because you still can do those things. You don't have to what if. You can do it. You can try it. Your life can change right now, man. You can still do it. And that's what I really love about this movie. Or at least that's like my general takeaway that I get from this movie. It's just like, frick what ifs, just do it. Oh, the ghost of Nike just like took over my body, whoops. But like literally though, like there's no what ifs, just do your dang thing that you want to do. Don't think about the what ifs, just live your life the way you want to live it. Don't be like, what if I did that thing? Do the thing! Yes! And yeah, that's why I really like this movie actually. And that's enough of my general notes. Now let's move into my IO specific notes. So my favorite part about Paula's character is her freaking outfits, man. Let's insert some pictures of those here, here, and here, here. Let's pop some pictures. Hopefully I can find some good ones because I really do love her outfits and I want to, in some ways I would like to, recreate them. That would be really fun. I just love her style. I feel like she wears like fun sweaters. There was like a vest she wore that was really cool too. I just love her outfits. They're really awesome to me in such like a simple, chill way. Like her type of chill style is the vibe that I would like to emulate. Please and thank you. Also, one of my favorite things about Ayo in a movie is how effortlessly she can bring humor into any of her characters, but then she can also tap into like a sort of seriousness and like dramatic vibe that also feels so real and authentic as well. It low-key is like kind of magical. It's like kind of magical to witness. Like, okay, she's like being like a little funny, has like a little sarcastic dry humor moment, Paula's character, and then suddenly things are like slightly switching and like we're seeing a deeper side to her. Things are getting a bit more serious for her and we're seeing that like side to her. And I love that, and it does feel magical. Also, it feels human. Like I can be funny, but then I can also be serious at the same time. Like it's not one or the other. We live in both sides of the coin. It's the best of both worlds. Hannah Montana said that. Thank you very much. I don't know where I'm going with my statement, so let's just end it here. So in this movie, at first we see Paula's character as really just like a sort of side character where her main goal is to just help the main character, Zoya, like solve time travel, save her life, etc, etc. Like Paula's main goal at first is to just be like that helper to the actual main character of the movie. But then we like see her slowly but also quickly gain her own motives and wants and needs that are detached from Zoya, the main character's wants and needs. And like that's really interesting to see, and I love a movie vibe like that, like where a secondary / side character suddenly kind of comes into the forefront as the main character too, because like at first we're seeing them as just like, oh, the best friend that's just trying to help out their best friend, whatever, but suddenly it's like, wait, no, the best friend has her own wants and needs and desires and goals and motives, etc, etc. Love that the movie does that. Does that make sense? Love that this movie does that. She's just not like the best friend trope. She comes into her own as her own main character in this, and it's really sweet to see. I think that's all I need to say about this movie. Let me check my notes. Yeah, that's all I need to say. Go watch this movie. Even if you were like me and your brain can't fully wrap around science stuff sometimes, still go watch this movie because you'll like it. Go watch this movie. Last time I'll say that. Let's move on to our next thing, which is Mulligan. Cool. So Mulligan is an animated TV show about an alien invasion that happens on Earth and the group of people that survive it, and they're trying to rebuild what's left of the world. And trust me, this show is 1,000 times less serious than how I just described it. The show is actually, honestly, the definition of unserious. So yeah. So overall, the show is just so mid, and honestly, I don't remember season 1 good enough to know if I can say like, oh, season 1 was better than season 2 or season 2 was better than season 1, but I will say that I do think I just felt the same way. I feel like I felt the same way coming out of season 2 as I did coming out of season 1, which was like, oh, this show's just basically average. This show is simply an averagely okay, fine, perfectly fine TV show. I don't even know if it's perfectly fine. It's just generally fine. It's nothing to write home about. Wouldn't recommend it. Sorry to say it. Blah blah blah. Maybe actually I think season 2 was a bit worse than season 1 because Ayo's character is only in 5 of the 10 episodes for season 2 instead of, I think, season 1 she was like in all of the 10 episodes, or maybe like 9 out of the 10 episodes. I don't know. Definitely she was in more of the episodes in season 1 than in season 2, and yeah, so maybe that's actually something that can like drop this a bit for me, the fact that her character is only in like 5 of the episodes in season 2, and the fact that when her character is in episodes, the plot points and stuff, the plot points, storyline, whatever, like her specific storylines, her character storylines, which her character is like a little like middle school boy. Her character's a middle school boy who's pretending to be an army general. That's who her character is, and like all the storylines surrounding him are just so minimal and like inconsequential that even when her character is in an episode, it feels like nothing anyway, because it's in such an inconsequential way. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say about the show. Let's move on now. Was that mean? That felt slightly mean, and I'm not trying to be mean. I just feel like so indifferent about the show, and my hair keeps getting in my mouth. That's awesome. But yeah, I just feel like so indifferent about the show. Is that mean? Is that mean to say? I don't know. Sue me. I don't know. Anyway, let's just move on to our third thing, which is opus. Yeah. So Opus is about a pop star from the 1990s named Alfred Moretti, played by John Malkovich. He announces his first album in 30 years, and he invites a bunch of industry type people, specifically a talk show host, a paparazzi person, a radio host, an influencer girl, and 2 journalists, one of who is Miss AYO and the other one is her boss, to his compound to listen to his new album. However, there are a lot of sinister things going on because it's so obvious that he's running a cult at this compound, and AYO's character Ariel is clocking all the weird stuff going on, and she's trying to crack the case. And yeah, that's Opus, baby. So for my general notes, let me start with all of the compliments that I want to shower this movie with. So first up, this movie is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So gorgeous. One, I love the opening shot. We immediately establish and set up the fact that Alfred Moretti is an icon and people are capital O obsessed with him. We see the audience just fawning at him and absolutely loving him on stage and just screaming, crying, throwing up even about how obsessed they are with him and about how starstruck they are to see him perform and etc, etc. And I just love the way that opening shot looks, and I love how we established that fact. We could have so easily just been at a normal concert seeing fans scream and shout and him performing on stage, but no, we do it in much more of a cinematic way, and I absolutely adore that. 2, the title card shot is absolutely so perfect to me, and let's just take a quick moment to insert that here. Hopefully not get beaten to death by copyright. 3, there's a moment in the movie where it's revealed to the audience that everybody's rooms at this place, at this compound, all the people that were all the industry people that were invited to this compound, all of the rooms have cameras in it and they're being watched, and it's revealed to us as the audience in this one moment in the movie. And the way the camera work is done during that scene is just so awesome to me too, and just such a cool way to one, tell the audience that whoa, some shady stuff is going on here, and 2, just do that scene itself. It's just such a cool way to do it, and I like it a lot. 4, there's a scene where Moretti is performing one of his new songs, and there's a moment during that scene where we can see some of the cult members, just there's stars in their eyes as they're watching him perform this song, and you can just see how starstruck they are by this man who's they are, once again, I'll bring it up, capital O obsessed with him. You can just see the stars in their eyes, how mesmerized they are to be in the presence of this star-studded awesome performer. Next up, the music. The music in this is so dang good, and like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, a lot of these things that I had to watch for this video, a lot of it is rewatches, and Opus specifically is one of the rewatches, and I love the music in this movie, and it just reminded me of how much I initially loved the music in this movie when I first watched it, and I just love being reminded of that. I'm oh yeah, I forgot how awesome, absolutely show-stoppingly incredibly awesome the music in this movie is, and I love it so much. So suddenly the 3 songs that they made for this movie have been on repeat for me since I rewatched this. And also I watched this movie with my sister. It was her first time watching this movie, and she was also so obsessed with the music. She was the music in this is so good, and I'm yes, it is. It is really awesome. I love it so much. Shout out Nile Rodgers, because he helped produce that, and there's also someone else who helped produce and make the music for this. Also, it's John Malkovich literally singing in this too, so shout out to him as well, but specifically shout out to Nile Rodgers, who helped produce and write the songs, I'm assuming, and also someone else whose name I'm forgetting right now, but we'll insert something to show that here. And the last compliment that I need to give this movie in my general notes section is John Malkovich's performance in this is show-stopping, incredible. All of the things from that one Lady Gaga video where she's show-stopping, incredible, so perfect, blah blah blah, so good, literally that's what his performance is in this. Literally, that's what his performance is in this. So freaking good. Okay, now let's move on to my gripes with this movie, some of the things that bother me about it in a way. I feel that's even too intense to say, but whatever. So, 1, there are some plot holes here and there in this movie. A couple plot holes popped around in certain little places, but there are not enough plot holes or really significant plot holes that completely turn me off of the movie. So I will say that, but there are just some general plot holes, and a lot of the plot holes are mainly just continuity stuff, which I'm not gonna really dive super deep into because I don't feel like explaining that fully. But I will say a lot of the plot holes are just some continuity things instead of full-fledged this person existed, where did they go? It's really not those types of plot holes. Or we brought up this thing and we never fully resolved that, Not really those types of plot holes, just like some continuity stuff that I'm not gonna explain because I don't feel like it. 2, there were some things in this movie that I really wish could have gotten more of an explanation, specifically when it came to the cult itself. Like, I feel like we didn't really dig deep enough into like what their vibes were and like what their inner workings were. So like how the cult works, like really why the cult's a thing, etc., stuff like that. I feel like we could have dove a bit deeper in that, and it would have made the movie feel a bit more impactful and a bit more, what's another word that kind of feels similar to impactful? I can't think of one, so I'm not gonna say one. But yeah, I feel like if we could have dove a little bit more, dug a little bit deeper into this cult, like the specifics of the cult, it could have made the movie hit a little bit harder, but we didn't really do that. So the movie didn't hit as hard as I feel like maybe some people wanted. I don't know. I just know that this movie has a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes, and me personally, I don't think it deserves that. I don't think it deserves that. And the main reason that I've seen many people like hate on this movie is the fact that they think that the movie like reuses and recycles other cult horror plot lines and themes. And I personally can neither confirm nor deny that because I'm not really a cult horror movie person. I don't really watch movies about that theme, topic, etc. The only movie that I feel like I have seen that is cult vibes, culty, horror, cult, whatever, is Midsommar. And me personally, I do not think this movie is like Midsommar at all. Like literally it's not like Midsommar at all, aside for the fact that both movies have cults in it. That's the only comparable similar attribute that I could give both of those movies. So yeah, as Midsommar being my only other cult movie that I've seen to compare this movie to, there's really no comparison. But other people have said like, oh, it just reuses, recycles other cult horror movie plot themes. And I can neither confirm nor deny that because I haven't seen other cult horror movies. Tongue twister saying that sentences. So yeah, for me, I don't feel like it reuses, recycles because I haven't seen enough other movies to say that for a fact. And honestly, rewatching this movie made me realize that I really do actually like this movie. I like the pacing, I like the story / plot for the most part, aside from, like I said, some of the things I wish we could have dove a little bit deeper with. But aside from that, I really do like how this movie kind of beginning, middles, and ends. And I also just generally like the ending too. And I feel like for some people, they're like, the ending falls so flat and it's just like such a cop-out in some ways, blah, blah, blah. But personally, I don't even think that. I think it's actually really interesting. Sue me. And I especially overall think that this movie genuinely does not deserve a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's actually kind of blasphemous and very mean. Anyway, let's move on to my AYO notes. My girl is show-stopping and incredible in this. All the same praises that I just gave to John Malkovich, I'm giving her too. Like, you can hate this movie, but you cannot hate her performance in this. Also, just generally, you cannot hate anyone's performance in this. Like, everybody does great things with what they're given and like with what their character vibes are. So like, shout out to everyone's performances in this. But I'm specifically talking about AYO EDEBIRI, so specifically, shout out her performance in this. She's my perfect horror movie final girl, and I'm sorry that is a spoiler, but I just had to say it. I just had to say it. Also, her outfits in this are so great to me. Let's hopefully enter a couple pictures of those too. And double also, triple also at this point, maybe even quadruple also at this point. I love her hair in this movie. I love it. Love it. Love the things they do with it. It's awesome to me. It's perfect to me. I love it. And yeah, that's all I need to say about Opus. Go watch that movie. Have a good time. Live, laugh, love. Let's move on to our number 4 thing. I think my counting is correct. So let's move on to number 4, which is After the Hunt. Let's go. So for this After the Hunt summary, I'm just going to fully use the Wikipedia summary because I could not think of a good way to succinctly like describe and summarize this movie, and Wikipedia actually does it very, very well. Shout out to my girl Wikipedia. Shout out to you, girl. And After the Hunt, a college professor finds herself at a personal and professional crossroad when a star student levels an accusation against one of her colleagues, threatening to expose a dark secret from her own past. Now, before I start crapping on this movie, I first want to say that I want to be inside of Luca Guadagnino's mind. I need to get in there. I need to get in there because the things that this man be doing, what? You're insane. And I mean that non-derogatory. You're insane in such like a cool way. Like, it's actually crazy. All of his movies have such a distinct vibe to them, which I always end up loving even if I don't love the movie itself. if that makes sense. Like, I didn't really like Queer, the movie Queer that he did, but I do remember loving specific things about that movie, like some of the cinematography, like some of the directing. I just love Luca Guadagnino's directing and pretty much like all of the things he does, at least all the things that I've seen. Like, I don't really like Challengers, but I love the direction in it. The directing's really great. Like I said, I don't really like Queer, but the directing's awesome. And I don't really like this movie, but his mind, and I just love his directing and direction in this. It's so good. Probably the one redeemable actually no, it's not the one redeemable quality about this movie. I will go into the other redeemable quality a bit later, but first let me talk about his directing and direction and like all the cool camera work and cinematography in this movie. It's awesome. Literally, it's so good. Like, some of the shots that this man decides needs to happen, I'm just like, how does your mind work like that? Like, there are a few moments in this movie where they're like literal first person POV shots, and they're just so like jarring. Like, the first time it happened, I was like, whoa, this is weird. Why are you staring me straight in the face, Andrew Garfield? Why are you looking me dead in the eyes, Julia Roberts? Like, it was so jarring. Super jarring. But then it's like, whoa, it's really cool. And it's like, how does your mind work like that to think like, oh, let me do that? I don't get it, but I love it. Also, there's a big emphasis on body parts in this movie, specifically hands. There's a lot of different hand shots in this movie, which is very interesting to see. And I know it means something. I don't get what it means, but I know it means something. And I wish I did get what it means, because I just know it's supposed to say something. Anyway, though, enjoy this quick little montage of the hand shots throughout this movie. Is this like a new kink unlocked or something?
Who hates me?
Nothing. I don't know.
I don't know, I think I'm just starving.
So are you gonna tell me why this is not true?
So, because women are penalized for speaking out,
You can do whatever you like, Maggie.
How's the paper coming?
Next up, the score in this is really great. It's perfectly eerie and haunting, and honestly, the score being so good is not surprising to me at all, because Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross always know how to perfectly deliver. Now, that second redeemable quality about this movie is the actors' performances. The actors' performances in this movie are really, really great, and it is the other redeemable quality about this movie, in addition to Luca's directing. And it's like honestly kind of crazy to see the awesome work that these actors were able to do with a script that was, no offense, but kind of abysmal. The script is kind of abysmal, but the actors did what they could with that script, and they honestly did great work with that script. The performances are so good, and specifically I mean Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield, Michael Stuhlberg, and AYO EDEBIRI, of course. Overall, this movie just feels like a tangled mess. This movie feels like a tangled mess, and we don't untangle the mess, it just becomes more tangled and more stupid. Sorry to say it, but kind of stupid. Low-key, this movie feels a bit reminiscent of Anatomy of a Fall to me. Anatomy of a Fall, if you don't know, it's a movie about a woman who's on trial for her husband's murder, and we as the audience are just like literally following through that trial. We don't know the truth. We don't know if she did it or if she didn't do it. We don't know anything. We're just literally following the trial as it's happening, and we just like never truly know if she did or didn't do the murder. This movie, After the Haunt, kind of feels like that to me, in that we never truly know who's right and who's wrong in this movie, because everyone in this movie is a little bit right and a lot of bit wrong. So in this movie, there really feels like there's no one to like root for, if that makes sense, and it feels like you shouldn't be rooting for anyone, because everyone's a bit messed up. Everyone's a bit right and a bit wrong and a bit insane. No one in this movie is particularly like likable, and I'm specifically talking about our main big three, so like Alma, Hank, and Maggie. Alma is very cynical and has like some very messed up worldviews. Hank is a man, need I say more, and Maggie is a privileged rich girl who has probably had like most things handed to her on a silver platter. There's not one really to root for in this. And not saying that like movies, like you need to have someone to root for and like there needs to be a likable character in order for it to be good. But I don't know, it just like, if it's not gonna be that, at least like you gotta give me something. You gotta give me something. And I don't know what that something is, but it's something. Overall, this entire movie just feels like a too ambiguous, tangled mess, and I feel like it could have shakily stuck the landing at the end with like the epilogue scene that they have, but they just fumble so hard with the epilogue scene that the whole thing just feels so bad. Like specifically like the dialogue during that final scene just feels so forced and so stale, and I'm just like, ooh, Ooh, you gave my 2 star-studded actresses that script and scene to work with? That's what you decided to give them as the final scene in this movie? That's what you're gonna give them? No, it's bad. And honestly, like, the entire movie doesn't even feel like that bad, but like the ending being like that bad to me just like kind of just throws the whole thing, like, just throw the whole thing out, because there are some redeemable like plot storyline moments in this movie, like before we get to the epilogue moment, but just watching the epilogue and like it ending like that just like makes the whole thing fall flat for me personally. Anyway though, I do want to insert one quick clip of Julia Roberts' character. Like, she says this one line, there's this one moment in the movie that I just love so much because it's so funny to me, and then at the same time, like, it's funny to me, but I also just feel it on an emotional level. Some days I truly feel like this scene, and let me just insert this scene right here, and I hope you enjoy. I don't know what else to say.
Oh, that's it? What, you're fine?
Guess I'm just an unfeeling cunt.
Now on to my AYO notes. I would like to once again reiterate that her performance in this is so great and so awesome. It truly shows that she can play such a dramatic and such a serious role. Like, there's no comedy in this role. There's no like little moments where she can like sprinkle in a little bit of comedy. Maybe like right at the little tiny bit at the beginning, but not even really there. There's like a lot of comedy in this. It's just very dramatic, very serious. And I love that we can see her do a role that's so grounded in drama and seriousness, because it truly shows that she can step up to the plate and deliver and do it. And I know that some people may say that with The Bear, she has already proven that she can be a dramatic actress, but at the end of the day, The Bear is very grounded in comedy, in my humble opinion. And Sid's character specifically, even though she has had her fair share of serious moments, her character will always be my funny, dry, sarcastic humor girl. And Maggie's character is not like that at all. Maggie is very serious, no comedy, no hee ha ha moments with her at all. And honestly, I like that we got to see AYO play a character like that. A character that's somewhat darker, a bit morally gray, definitely not at all perfect, and I liked it a lot. It was really fun to watch, actually. Give my girl more characters like that. Give my girl a villain role even. That would be so cool to witness. And give her more final girl. I know this wasn't a horror movie, but give her more final girl horror movie roles. That would be fun too. Anyway though, that's all I need to say about After the Hunt. Let's move on to number 5? Move on to number 5, Ella McCay. Let's go. So Ella McCay is a movie about a woman named Ella McCay, played by Emma Mackey. She randomly and sort of accidentally becomes governor of her state, but there's a lot of political, personal, and familial issues that have the chance to mess up her dream job. So the first thing I need to say is that this movie is the definition of drama. So much happens in this, and what makes it even more insane is the fact that this movie only takes place over 3 days. The course of 3 days, this movie takes place, and so much happens in it. It's so dramatic, so much drama. It's insane. So the movie takes place over the course of 3 days, but we also get a ton of like flashback moments that like highlight some of the big defining moments of Ella's life. So that also aids in the drama, but also gives us some like, what's the word, like context to like who her character is and like what's going on in her life now. But also those moments are so dramatic too, and just aids in the overall drama, #D drama of this movie. But aside from all the drama in this movie is also kind of funny, and at some points I don't even know if it was like trying to be funny. I feel like it was like kind of unintentionally funny. And maybe that's like kind of mean to say, because I was laughing a lot throughout this movie, and I don't know if I was meant to laugh. I don't know if in some moments they wanted to make me laugh, but I was in fact laughing. And now that I'm thinking about it, that does kind of feel a little mean to say. Anyway though, this movie has a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, and this is one of those movies where I don't think Rotten Tomatoes is right. This is one of those movies where I'm like, I don't think it deserves that at all. I don't think it deserves that. This movie is not perfect, and it's not great by any means. It's not like the greatest movie ever, but it also does not absolutely suck. It does not warrant a 23%. That feels really mean. Like, yes, it's a bit insane and kind of fantastical at some points, mainly the ending, but I think us as a society and us in this time that are crazy, stinky, blah, 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 ill, disgusting world is in, I think in these trying times that our world is in, we need more movies like this. We need more movies that will spark hope and joy and happiness in the masses. And I think this movie, mainly the ending of this movie, gives that. I personally like a movie that gives me hope for a better world. Sue me, freaking sue me. Literally the worst part about this movie is the fact that Miss Ella McKay has an absolute loser of a man as her husband and an absolute loser of a man as a dad. That's the only worst part about this movie. But at the end of the day, like, the men get what they deserve in this movie. The scale is balanced and tips back in an okay favor by the end of things. So yeah, that doesn't make sense, but whatever. My favorite sentence ever to say. I don't think that makes sense, but it's fine. Let's move on now. Anyway, on to my IO notes. I love Emma Mackey, but I will say that if I didn't see AYO EDEBIRI in the trailer for this movie, I would not have seen this movie. Because when I watched the trailer for this movie, when I was forced to watch a trailer for this movie, when I was watching some other movie in the movie theater, I don't remember what movie it was, but I was watching some movie in the movie theater, then this trailer came on, and I was like, this movie looks bad. And then suddenly, AYO EDEBIRI popped in for a quick little second, and I'm like, okay. And suddenly I'm gonna be seated in that movie theater watching this movie. And I will say that she is sadly barely in this movie. She kind of only has like 1.5 scenes in this movie. And I'm saying half a scene because there's one scene in this movie where it's just like her and like the person she's with, and like they're in a diner and we just like see them. We don't hear any of the words they're saying, but we do just see them on the screen. So that feels like a half scene to me personally. And even though she is only in 1.5 scenes, she does awesome in her 1.5 scenes, and good for her. And you know what? Actually, I'm glad that I was low-key baited into watching this movie solely for AYO EDEBIRI, because I did actually end up having an enjoyable time watching it in the movie theater in like December, I think it was when it came out. I had an enjoyable time watching it then, and I also had an enjoyable time rewatching it for this video too. That's all I have to say about this. Shall I tell you to go watch this movie? Sure. Yes, go. Have fun. Once again, live, laugh, love. Don't think about her too seriously. And that's that. Now on to our 6th thing, second to last thing, penultimate thing before we talk about the last thing. And but the next thing the next thing we're talking about is I Love LA. Let's just move on to that. Let me stop talking. So I Love LA is about 4 friends who live in LA and are navigating the big bad world of Hollywood, baby. And by Hollywood, I mean influencer land. So when it comes to I Love LA, I do like her, but there's just something about her that I don't love. No pun intended. The show just feels very quintessentially LA to me, and by that I mean it feels like the kind of LA that has been spoon-fed to me and maybe society too since social media was born. And by that I mean I feel like the show heavily focuses on influencer culture, and there's a heavy emphasis on like all the implants that come in from like all around wherever and all the things that come along with that. I feel like that's what I Love LA is. It's like the quintessential social media LA. You know what I mean? And like personally, I don't know if I really care about all that. I will say that I do love Alani though. I love the character of Miss Alani Marcus. She's the only Nepo baby that deserves rights in my opinion. So yeah, brief description on her character. She's one of the friends in the friend group and her dad's a famous actor. She's essentially just like a rich girl who's slightly airheaded, and she's so funny. And honestly, I'm just now realizing that she's just like very London Tipton core, which is the biggest compliment ever. Shout out to Miss London Tipton. Shout out to Miss Brenda Song. Love you, girl. Hope you're doing well. And I will now shamelessly promo and say go check out my Alani Marcus compilation if you so please. I will biasly say that it is great. All of her fun little jokes and the funny moments of her from the show all compiled into one video. Isn't that so awesome and cool? Go check that out. Go check that out. Shameless promo. Have to do it. So when it comes to the rest of the main cast though, Maya, Tallulah, and Charlie, I just don't know if I'm as obsessed with them as I should be. I feel like I mildly enjoy them, but I definitely don't love them, which is why the show falls into like the I generally like her category rather than like I love her and I'm obsessed with her category. I do want to give this show some writing praise though. In an overall general sense, I do love the humor in this, and I do love the jokes, the majority of the jokes in this, mainly when they're coming from Alani, but also when they're coming from some other people too. There's some other like funny moments in this as well, and I do like that a lot. There are many moments where I am lolling or I'm laughing out loud. Also, I have to say that when this show first came out, I did the terrible thing of comparing it to Adults, a show that I absolutely love and adore and I'm so excited for, and I love all those characters and I relate to all those characters in different ways, and I'm obsessed with that show and I'm obsessed with everyone in it. And it's a show that's loosely similar to this one because it's also about like a friend group in their 20s like trying to navigate life, and both of those shows kind of came out around the same time. So now when I think about I Love LA, I also think about Adults, and I low-key like compare them to each other, and like I think about how obsessed I I am and how much I absolutely love and adore adults, and I'm like, I Love LA does not give me that same feeling. So do I even like it? I do like that show. I just like am wrongfully comparing them. I shouldn't be comparing them, and I admit that that's not something I should do. And I did the terrible thing of comparing them when I was first watching I Love LA. So I feel like that's another reason why it's kind of not in that love category for me. So yeah, just giving some background context for kind of no reason. Anyway, let's move on to my Ayo notes. Ayo's character in this is kind of similar to her character in Mulligan in that she is barely in this show too. In fact, she's actually only in 2 episodes of the show, and I will say that she is in a combined maybe 4 scenes in this. Maybe 4.5 scenes, because there is a scene in this show where it's just like a video, like they're just watching a video of her character doing something. So that feels like a half scene to me. But when I was first watching the show, I had no idea that Ayo was going to be in it. So when she did pop up on my screen randomly, it was such a fun surprise. Because when I first watched the show, I mainly watched it because I like Rachel Sennott and I wanted to see like what she was doing, because she created the show, directed an episode for the show, and also writes for the show. Like it's her little baby, so I wanted to check it out. And then suddenly seeing Ayo pop up was such a pleasantly awesome surprise, and her character is essentially FK Twig's cosplay, and by that I mean her character is a British singer who is very weird and very pretentious in her artistry. And honestly, it's so fun to see Ayo play a character like that because it's so unlike any of the other characters we've seen her play before, and I really enjoy Miss Mimi Rush. And honestly, rewatching the show for this video made me realize that Mimi Rush better make an appearance or 2 or 3 or 4 in season 2. Please and thank you, Miss Rachel Sennott. If you're watching this, I know you're not watching this, but hey, maybe if you are watching this, if this little clip somehow makes its way to you, please and thank you, put Miss Mimi Rush in a couple episodes. Give me some more Mimi Rush. Thank you. Now let's insert some of my fave Mimi Rush moments for funsies, because why not? Why not?
Charlie,
Yes.
you know how I told you about my new music video? We finally locked down who's gonna play my mother, and that's what's really gonna tie it all together.
You want to tell me?
Zendaya.
What? Zendaya as your mom? Wow, so there's flashbacks to when you were a baby, or like how are you gonna work that out with?
No, she's my mother now.
Right.
And I'm me.
Right.
Now.
Right. No, only because of the age that she is. Yeah, I just think she reads maybe a little.
No. I think you don't understand because you don't have a brain for film. I think you might have a brain for clothes and like being gay.
Gay, clothes, end of person. Jeez.
Hello, Charlie.
Mimi,
You look well.
what are you doing here?
I wanted to pick up my antique French scoliosis corset.
I think someone sent that to me.
Who?
I think a fan or something.
Did you make it?
Yeah.
It's fucking mega. What would you say if Mimi Rush hired you for being gay and Jewish?
And with that, now we are on to our 7th and final thing that I will be talking about for this video, and it is Proof on Broadway. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm so excited to talk about it. So Proof on Broadway is a play about math, about grief, about life, about family, about mental illness in a way too. It's just a really good play, and that's all I want to say about it because I don't want to spoil anything. And honestly, if you do so choose to go see this play, I hope you go in as blind as possible. And I will say that I technically did not go in as blind as possible because the moment that it was announced that she was going to be in this play and that she was going to be making her Broadway debut with this show, I immediately went to my local library and picked up the play and I read the play. Did not go in blind at all when I saw the show, but I did. It was last year when I read it, so some things were kind of like murky and I didn't really remember a lot of it, but I did remember some of like the big plot and like the big plot twists, if you will, and big plot points. So yeah, I do wish I had gone into the show blind and experienced it for the first time as I was watching it live, but I didn't, and you can't change the past, so sue me. So there are a few things that I first want to say before I get into the nitty gritty of like what my thoughts are on this play. So one, I kind of still cannot believe that I had the privilege to be seated for this show, that I had the privilege to see this show live, to experience AYO EDEBIRI's Broadway debut live and in person. I can't believe I got to witness that. 2, this was my first ever Broadway show, and I'm so glad that this got to be my first experience. Suddenly I'm a girl that loves live theater. Suddenly I'm a girl that loves live theater. Suddenly I'm a girl that loves to be a part of that. Like, oh, it just feels so electric. That's the word I want to use. It feels so electric being a part of something like that. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Number 3, there was this older guy sitting next to me during the show, and he did fall asleep a couple of times. You know, when your head like lolls a little bit because like you're falling asleep, that's what was happening to the guy next to me, and that was like a crazy vibe. Now for this one, there's no general notes and AYO notes. We're putting it all together because she is literally the lead. All those notes just thrown together, and here we go. So I have been to many concerts in my lifetime. I've been to many concerts, and also I've been very lucky to have been front row for many of those concerts as well. But I think being front row for this Broadway play is the most starstruck I've ever been. I think it is genuinely the most starstruck I've ever been. Like literally sitting front row, I'll insert pictures of like my view and stuff from where my seat was, literally the first row of the theater, being that close to the actors performing on stage, to Miss AYO EDEBIRI, to Mr. Don Cheadle, to Miss Cara Young, to Mr. Jin Ha, the cast of the show. I genuinely felt so stinking starstruck. Like suddenly I'm one of Alfred Moretti's fans, and there's stars in my eyes seeing these 4 people performing in front of me, performing this awesome play in front of me. It was mesmerizing, I will say. It was very mesmerizing. Now, I did just name drop the entire cast in this, but I do want to speak more on the cast in this. They're spectacular. This whole cast is spectacular. There's literally not one weak link in any part, in any shape or form, a part of this show, a part of this performance. Like, no one is the weak link. Everyone performs perfectly and does exactly what they need to do. They feel so like dropped in and tapped in and locked in to their character and like who the character is and like how their character interacts with this character versus this character versus that character. It's so good to see. This cast is show-stopping and incredible. Yes. The show itself was just so interesting and so effortlessly funny too. And I'm trying to think about like when I was reading the play, like if it felt that funny too, like if there was like a lot of comedy like while reading the play. And I do think there were some moments where I was like laughing at certain things here and there, but the amount that everybody in this audience and me too was laughing as we were watching it live was just so much more, and just so like, how many times I'm gonna say awesome, but it was just so awesome to be able to like be a part of this to be a part of this, to be a part of this audience, to just like have a good time watching something. And just, yeah, how many times can I like regurgitate the same like sentiment? The play just has like such a great plot and also like really great pacing too, that like translates to like the stage in like such a good way as well. And also the way it ends, like, it was so close to getting me in that theater. Like I was so close to like sobbing. It was like this close. I will say it was like this close. And the stage production is really good too, and it really makes you feel some like the big emotional moments that happen in the play, in the show. It's just really good. Shout out to the stage production team, shout out to y'all, shout out to everyone, shout out to everyone involved in the show. So good. And the last thing I need to say about the show is basically me repeating everything that I've said before. It's just so perfect and so awesome and so great. And if you have the opportunity to go see this before it closes in July, please go see it. Make haste and get your butt in a theater seat and go watch this show, because I guarantee you will have an awesome time. And honestly, if I had the chance to go see this again, I definitely would. No freaking doubt about it. No doubt about it. I would go see this again. I have the playbill here as well. Shout out to that. But I didn't explain how I saw it. So I basically went Wednesday, May 27th. I went to the 2 p.m., 2 o'clock matinee show. I literally flew into New York for the day just to see this. Flew in, watched the show, flew right back out at 7 p.m. Free will is so crazy. I can fly into New York for one day just to go see a show. Oh, that's so crazy. Free will is so crazy and so awesome and so kooky, and I can't believe I have free will that I can just like fly to a different place just for one day and then come home and sleep in my same bed that I slept in last night. But I just did a whole day experiencing a whole different city and doing something crazy. Well, not even crazy, but doing something so fun and awesome. Go live your life. Go live your free will, guys. You have free will exercise it. And that is literally all I need to say for this video. I watched AYO EDEBIRI's filmography, updated version of AYO EDEBIRI's filmography essentially, and it was a great freaking time. That's it. I'm not gonna ramble for like 2 minutes straight. We're just gonna end this video here, and thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you are awesome and you are a superstar actually. And yeah, bye bye.